Election Authority. We are reaching us live from the floor of the Senate, where the Senate has resumed the second batch of the screening of ministerial nominees. Well, at the moment, the Senate has reconvened and then resolved into Committee of the Whole, where the second batch of the ministerial nominees will be screened. Earlier, the Senate had screened Uche Chukwu-Aga from Abia State, Senator George Akume from Benue State, Senator Godswill Akpabio from Akwa Ibom State, and Chukwuemeka Nwajoba from Imo State. Well, during that screening, senators demanded to know from the nominees areas and what they'll bring to bear to assist the federal government in achieving most of its projects and plans, especially in the area of diversification of the Nigerian economy, improving power generation, creating an all-inclusive growth, and then stabilizing the oil sector, especially the NNPC. This is one of the major oversight functions that the Ninth Senate will be performing. Screening and confirmation of ministerial nominees is a very significant exercise for any parliament. A total of 43 nominees were submitted to the Senate. And then the Chairman Senate Ad hoc Committee on Media and Publicity, Senator Adedayo Adeyeye, had briefed National Assembly correspondents that the Senate has resolved to postpone its recess to ensure that all the nominees are confirmed. Now, inside the chamber is the former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amaechi from Rivers State. He's the next nominee to be screened. Rotimi Amaechi was born on the 27th of May, 1965. He had his primary education at St. Teresa's Primary School, Ubima, from 1970 to 1976. He also had his secondary school education at Okolobiri Government Secondary School between 1977 to 1982. Where he obtained his West African School Certificate examination. Between 1983 and 1987, he attended the University of Port Harcourt, where he obtained his Bachelor of Arts in English and Masters in English. He was a two-time governor of Rivers State and the immediate past Minister of Transportation. He's now at the podium to answer questions from senators.
Order. I want to
Rotimi Amaechi is also the Director General of the Muhammadu Buhari Campaign Organization in 2015 and 2019. He is a member Board of Trustees of the United Nations Institute of Training and Research.
We have on the podium Honorable Rotimi Amaechi, the nominee from Rivers State. Honorable nominee, on behalf of my colleagues here, I want to welcome you to the Senate, and this will be your second time of standing in that position for screening. We have your CV with us, but it is customary to ask you if there is anything that you need to highlight that is in the CV, or anything that is not in the CV and you feel that is relevant and helpful for you to tell the Senate. Once again, I welcome you for this screening exercise. You can address the Senate.
Distinguished President of the Senate, principal officers of the principal officers, usually if you appear before Congress, you're intimidated, so please kindly pardon my voice. Principal officers of the Senate, distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My name is Chibike Rotimi Amaechi. My CV is with you. Just to highlight that I've served the Rivers State as a Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly for 8 years, served Rivers State as Governor of Rivers State, and served the Federal Republic of Nigeria as Minister for Transportation for 3.5 years, let me not say 4 years, 3.5 years. And I'm privileged once more to appear before the distinguished members of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to present myself for further screening. Thank you very much.
Distinguished colleagues, Peter, what is it? Distinguished? Is it a point of order? Okay, let me finish. Distinguished colleagues, we have agreed on a policy on how we go about the screening of nominees. And I just want to reiterate that policy. That policy, we have agreed that any nominee with legislative background would enjoy the privilege that we normally extend to such nominees. And I can see this nominee is so clever that he emphasized he's been a speaker, not only a member of the legislature. So based on this, the procedure we have adopted is to ask the two leaders in the chamber, the Senate leader and the Senate minority leader, to speak on our behalf. And then I'll round up. Senate minority leader.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Victor, haven't I called you?
Order. Order. Thank you, Mr. President. In your position as the chair, my name is Naya Baribe. I represent Abia South, and I am the minority leader. Mr. President, let me say that I will have some discussion with you after. But I have also had a discussion with the Rivers Caucus, and they claim that they don't have a discussion with me. So I don't know whether you can let a member of the Rivers State Caucus confirm or not whether I had a discussion with them.
You can sit down, Minority Leader. I want to respond to that before I take any point of order. This policy was adopted consciously and overwhelmingly, and I will advise us that we don't shift the goalpost. We stick with it, and I know that maybe few of us may have reservation, but this is a democracy. So, Minority Leader, I want to believe that this Senate will not change that policy. We are going to stick with it to the end. And I want to advise that if you have anything to say, to convey the general idea of what you should ordinarily say, I would advise that you do so. Point of order. Senator Mohammed Goji.
Mr. President, point order 3. 2. Mr. Commissioner, I would like to read it. 3.2. Nomination of senators to serve as presiding officers and appointments of principal officers and other officers of the Senate or on any parliamentary delegation shall be in accordance with the ranking of senators. In determining ranking, the following order shall apply. A. 1. Senators returning based on number of times elected. 2. Senators who have been members of the House of Representatives. 3. Senators elected as senators for the first time. Our order here does not recognize House of Assembly. And I remember I'm a victim. When I came to this Senate in 2011, I was a member of House Assembly before. And when I insisted that I had a cognate experience, they said, no, the order of this Senate does not recognize House of Assembly. So I don't know whether we are changing these rules. If we are not changing these rules, I am in support of the nominee. He is my friend, former governor is my friend. But I want us to stick to these rules. These rules do not recognize House of Assembly. And I read the order, but lift it up.
Mike. Well, distinguished colleagues, I agree totally it's not in the rules. But we can regulate ourselves even without things in the rule. So we adopt this, we adopt this because we should extend this privilege to the House of Assembly. I think there is nothing wrong in that. The present nominee is only going to be a beneficiary by chance. It's not designed. We are not doing it for him. So, distinguished colleagues, he's going to benefit this not because we came up with this policy to support him. We said so even before he came. So it's not like he's going to benefit because we are going to do it now. Any person, nominee who passed through a legislative house, and that will include State Assembly, House of Representatives, and Senate. So the Songwe Senator, your friend is going to be a beneficiary of this policy. So, Senate Minority Leader, please make your remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you recall, I had said that I would want for us to have a discussion after. This was with regard to this. But going forward, another reason why I wanted Rivers State recognized was the impression that had been created by the way we treated the matter of Akwa Ibom, which we didn't want it to happen, that somebody is against somebody on the floor. Nobody is against anybody. In that case, we want to make a comment on my good friend, who is another donation from the PDP.
8 years speaker.
Having been 8 years speaker of PDP and 8 years governor of PDP and chairman of Governors Forum of PDP.
Yes, correct. Well guided.
So now that we know that he has his DNA in PDP,
We don't have any problem.
we have no problems with him.
Please go ahead.
And only want to state that I have spoken to the Rivers State Caucus, and they have asked me to please convey this message to you, that they expect that you are Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which includes Rivers State, which also means that whatever you can do as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in making sure that peace and security is sustained and maintained in Rivers State, that you should please do so. And also, to always recognize as a Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that I have had interaction with you, and you have told me that the Eastern Corridor regarding the railways, that if you are returned as the Minister for Transportation again, that will be your priority. Eastern Corridor goes from south-south all the way to northeast. As you're doing well for the Western Corridor, as you're doing well for Ibadan to Lagos Railway, that we want that same thing on this side, including Abo to Onitsha, so that we can move goods through the Ajaokuta Warri Railway. And to go further, to say, sir, let us also expect from you that the Nigerian railways will be done within Nigeria before we go outside of Nigeria to connect any of our neighbors, because charity begins at home. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Senate Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President sitting on the chair, my distinguished colleagues, nominee. My only remarks here is to note that antecedents and in genetics, they also require some improvements. And I think what we are having is an improved genetics and a Minister of Transportation for the entire country. Mr. Chairman, my own real addition to this issue is that Honorable Rotimi Amaechi, I had the pleasure of knowing him very closely because I was a member of the Land Transport Committee. And with him, we had gone on several negotiations up to China, and I have seen a lot of the work that has been done on the railway infrastructure in this country. I have made a lot of visits to the areas where he has worked. Now, for somebody who is new, to come into that position, I think is going to be quite a drawback. So we thought that the president, in considering, will take him back to his previous assignment so that he can be able to reconnect with the initiatives that he had already started and to see them to conclusion. My only plea, similar to what the minority leader has said, is that our own northwestern sector of the country, we know, are in the plan. Zamfara, Sokoto, and Kebbi. We learned that these ones are in your plans, but we haven't seen anything in the 2019 budget. So we are hoping that by this confirmation, if the Senate, in its wisdom, do confirm you revisit, and we want to expect to see in the 2020 budget a well-articulated funding of the program that you are going to say to connect Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi axis to national railway infrastructure. If we don't see that, then we know that you and us in that corridor, we have put our own legs in the same trouser pocket. We will sit down, yes. We will sit down and really refuse to allow you to rest, until that plan and that promise that you have been made, comes to fruition. Mr. President, with that, I would like to request my distinguished colleagues to allow Honorable Rotimi Amaechi, in view of his legislative experience, in view of the agreement that we had, the same experience having been a former speaker for 80 years of the Rivers State House of Assembly, to take a bow and vacate the chamber. I so move, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Senate Leader. I think the issue of taking a bow and go will come as soon as I make this statement. Because the nominee served as a minister of transportation, and issues of interest have arisen. You are at liberty, if you have any explanation, because here is issue of Eastern Corridor that runs from the south to the northeast, from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, that if you want, this, distinguished colleagues, he is not under any obligation. But if he chooses to explain anything, I think it's an opportunity for him. If he chooses not to say anything, he can take a bow and go. So it's up to you. You can take a bow. Do you prefer to take a bow? No. Do you want to take a bow? Okay. No. Order, please. Honorable Rotimi Amaechi, the former Speaker of Rivers State House Assembly, please take a bow. But before then, is it the view of this Senate that the nominee takes a bow and go? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Take a bow.
That was the screening of Rotimi Amaechi, the immediate past Minister of Transportation. Well, the privilege accorded to people, nominees with legislative experience, was also accorded the former governor of Rivers State, because he was Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly. Well, there were some motions that the ranking of the Senate does not extend to people who serve in the State House of Assembly. Well, that motion was read by Senator Danjuma Goje, but then the Senate President explained that it should be extended to them because they're part of Parliament as well.
I know now.
Mr. President. Mr. President. Mr. President, I want to appeal to all my colleagues that we can take advantage of the benefits of the information of a nominee who had occupied such an office before. He can stand here to sell himself to Nigerians. That if he returns back to that same office on the basis of the argument that we have raised here, he will be more effective and deliver more impactful leadership and service to our country. We should, that's it, Mr. President, please.
Mr. Chairman, Order 43. Mr. President, permit me to read. By the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the President of the Senate, the Senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate. But no controversial matter may be brought forward, nor may debate arise upon the explanation. The terms of the proposed statement shall be submitted in detail to the President of the Senate when his leave to make it is sought. Mr. President, I am sorry, I didn't want to put us in confusion when the nominee was there, because switch off.
Distinguished Senator George Thompson Sekibo, you know, you didn't discuss anything with me regarding what you are raising. And this thing, I will advise that you withdraw that your point of order because I will rule against you. So if you insist, because you have not given me the terms of what you are going to say, and it is my prerogative to know what you are going to say before I allow you to say it. So on the basis of this, I will disallow you from continuing with that point of order. Next time, let's discuss it so that I'm abreast with what it is going to be. So I will graciously say I take note of that your point of order.